People, I'm about tired of responding to this dude. But I guess we have to again because he mentioned my name once again. So let's just go for it.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to Battle Cry Gaming. Today I'm going to react to Brandon the Broker's reaction of my AEW Fight Forever review. Yeah, and Crybaby Broker, unfortunately, is at it again. He can't handle an honest review. He reminds you of that kid back in elementary school that'd be sitting in the corners, always getting picked on. Even the teacher would pick on him. Yeah, that is Brandon for you. Nah, I'm joking.
I'm the kid that also got your sister pregnant.
Okay, Brandon, he's a good friend of mine. Go over and show him some love. It's Brandon. His channel will be linked in the description below. It is Brandon the Broker. So go give him a check out.
Brandon, aka Brandon Broker, and as you see, we are here today. We are going to be looking at Battle Card Gaming, or as I like to call them, Battle Whine Games, AEW Fight Forever Review. Now, fun fact, I actually bought him this game, so you could find it.
Yes, he bought me this game. I'm still waiting on the money you owe me for WWE 2K24. You know what? You should be lucky that I bought it for the PS5 because Sony doesn't give out.
I spent the money on child support. I sent it to your sister so my son and my daughter can eat.
Refunds like ever. Okay, and there's no point in me taking them to court to get a refund for that game, anyways. It wouldn't even be worth my time. But if I could, I would get my money back. I recommend everybody to try to get their money back for WWE 2K24 for that abomination
Can I get my money back from the money I gave your mom?
of a trash game.
This evening, baby, game, shut up. Anyway, let's get into it. This, by the way, this is my first time watching it. I didn't watch it before, so I'm pretty much watching it. As you guys see it, I'm seeing it too. Okay, I'm just going to talk about it. There was probably some music before that, so we're not going to knock on that.
There was. I had to mute the sound. For some reason, it was coming up as copyright strike. I mean, it is what it is.
Is he calling this company ill? I mean, I call it only ill because it's kind of bitch, but okay.
Yes, the AI voice was messing up for some reason. It was saying "ew" instead of AEW. Okay, move on.
We will not move on, sir. The reason we cannot move on is because you pride yourself in making actual videos that are correct. Even IGN got it right. AEW, get it right.
This pretty much looks like Nightmare Before Christmas animation. That's exactly what this looks like.
The animation is awesome. Put some respect on AEW's name, Brandon.
Did you say animation? It's animation.
Now, granted, I'm not an AEW fan. I think the company is honestly the most diabolical garbage to ever be shown on my TV, which is why I pretty much don't watch them, but let's go.
You're being Brandon is very biased with AEW. Brandon is a fanboy when it comes to AEW. In his eyes, they can do no wrong. Okay, I guarantee.
I'm gonna guess he means WWE because I literally just said I cannot stand AEW, but I'll leave it up to that idiot to get it wrong, which is exactly what he is, an idiot.
He sided with them on the Monday Night Wars. He probably talked so much trash against ECW and WCW.
Number one, WCW was actually a very good promotion before they went to all the BS. Number two, I don't think you realize that ECW was not a part of the Monday Night Wars. They weren't even on Monday night.
Dude, your AI voice in this entire video is wrong. Why didn't you just use your real voice? Why not? Why didn't you?
First he told me in the WWE 2K24 review, oh, go back to the AI voice. Now you're telling me to use my regular voice. Brandon, make up your mind. You're a walking contradiction, sir. Make up your mind already.
Tell us now.
They both suck. Why don't you just shut the fuck up?
I'm Kenny. Why didn't you use your real voice? Your voice in this video lacks everything. It's like you're bland. You're like a boiled potato with no salt, no pepper, no sour cream, no ranch dressing, no cheddar cheese, nothing. Boiled potato with potato boiled water.
Sir, you like your food bland. You're the most blandest person I know. Okay, I was cooking and you were getting after me about putting too much seasoning. You don't even like flavor, sir.
Choice is what you want.
Dumping stuff together is not flavor. It's not seasoning. It's slop. Exactly what your wife makes for dinner. Slop.
In some, while Fight Forever makes bold choices with its character and animation styles that add a delightful comic flair to its wrestling fun, struggles to maintain its subtle artistic rigor across all matches. The game itself is a bit of a but needs a more cohesive approach to its overall design to fully realize its style. Gameplay mechanics and combat systems. In terms of gameplay, Fight Forever offers a mix of innovative ideas and style. The game's creator wrestler and arena modes provide fundamental tools for customization that are noticeably limited in scope, particularly in terms of technical diversity and content options. This limitation can limit creativity and personal connection as player preference. When we talk about why Darby Allin is driving with his makeup on,
It's called kayfabe, sir. Something that you have forgotten about because WWE doesn't care about kayfabe. Why would they have him without makeup? I don't think he's ever been on AEW really without makeup. It's kayfabe. Maybe you've forgotten what that is, Brandon.
patience with care.
For those of you who don't know, Undertaker came down to the ring during the Attitude Era in sweats, not dressed up as Undertaker. Ken Shamrock has done the same. Bret Hart has done the same. Steve Austin has done the same. Shawn Michaels has done the same. Kevin Nash and Scott Hall did the same. Diamond Dallas Page has done the same. Dusty Rhodes has done the same. Yeah, that kayfabe.
That's just weird. The combat mechanics are accessible designs to use to cover the depth and satisfy more experienced players. Moves are executed through a combination of button presses, directional input, a straight move, and then buttons. After buttons. This system, while functionally closely mirrors other existing wrestling games, lacks the polished response to scene top-tier titles. Players may experience frustration with inconsistent hit detection and lag, particularly during online matches against games such as Twisting One and CM Punk. One of the standout features of Fight Forever is the momentum system, which borrows from genre classes like WWE and Mercy. This system rewards players' superior momentum to defense, allowing them to build up momentum to unleash powerful finishing moves. While this adds to strategic layers of matches, the game does not clearly communicate other crucial aspects of combat, such as health, wound damage, confusion, frustration during critical moments of gameplay. Furthermore, he's not wrong there. He is absolutely correct on that. I would say my biggest takeaway from everything I've seen in this game is they tried to hit the No Mercy nostalgia, and they pretty much missed. They pretty much missed widely on that.
Very true. You know, WWE No Mercy is should be the game that anybody making a wrestling game should strive for. There has been no greater game than No Mercy. No Mercy is at the top. I don't think anybody will put another game above that one. There is nothing better than No Mercy. In No Mercy, you had so many options for story mode. You could literally do a story mode for each title, and no game has done that since. Okay, in this one, you get one story mode. I don't know if you can pick the female. To be honest, maybe you can pick a female. Actually, I don't know. But you pick a character and you eventually win the AEW championship, or you have a chance to win it. So I mean, I don't know what happens if you lose it or if you just redo it or not. I mean, that's pretty the bare basic bones of a story mode. But it would have been nice. They could have sat there and had you go after the TNT. They could have went after the tag teams, maybe the women's championship. I mean, the possibility there were other possibilities they could have done, and they dropped the ball. You know, like WWE. WWE hasn't tried to do anything new. I mean, they're still rehashing the same boring thing year after year even though they made No Mercy. They can go back to it.
It's not always so easy to go back to what you used to do because guess what? A lot of the people who made that game are no longer with WWE. Like I said, WWE has a whole department just for gaming. Those people aren't there anymore, many times over. A couple of them have already passed on from this life. You cannot just remake that same game again. You just can't do it.
Allow players to use separate buttons to block or counter strikes with grapple. This feature reminiscent of older wrestling games, adds complexity to one-on-one encounters, and can be overwhelming with matches with multiple opponents. Difficulty increases with the password of match types and single-player events. Fight Forever includes a variety of match types. The most enjoyable and often least efficient, such as the ECOs, hardcore style lights out matches. These matches allow you to use outlandish weapons like rivals, swords, and explosives, injecting an element of absurd fun that harks back to the wild days of wrestling video games. The game's primary single-player mode goes through its themes. Fight Forever. Players guide wrestlers through zero challenges with each monk moving space between them. While the mode is designed for quick focus and emphasizing the playability, narrative aspects remain essential. Stories which are crucial for player engagement lack depth, often do not resonate with fans. Pretty much that rings true for the company itself. That rings true for everything the company pretty much does. There is no rhyme or reason to a lot of things that they do. They've had some success maybe because they bring in someone new every single week. They always do a big announcement, but it never really translates to anything in ratings. And well, I guess you're seeing that in the game itself. But hey, you are a huge AEW fan, dude. So it should be stuff you.
First off, WWE does the same thing. Look at who they brought back CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. They do the exact same thing, dude.
When they brought in Cody Rhodes, the ratings went up. When they brought in CM Punk, the ratings went up. Who has who have AEW brought in that the ratings have went up and stayed up? They can barely get 800,000 a week. WWE does double, sometimes triple that.
Just like AEW does. Yes, WWE is winning at the moment, and I'm not even an AEW fan. I only sit there and
Dynamite has never beat Raw. Dynamite has never beat SmackDown. Oh my God, they beat NXT. Oh my God, they beat the developmental. That is like me. That's like me putting myself. That is like putting the Raiders up against Alabama and then saying, oh my God, we beat Alabama. Then again, they'll probably get smoked by Bama.
Bring up AEW to get you triggered because it's funny, sir. We need content, and this is what gets us content. You enjoy, right? Well, for Roku, we include some managerial elements such as training sessions to improve skills or activities to boost morale before matches. These elements are only superficial and however, do not significantly impact gameplay, especially when things not previously characters or stats cannot be improved, including the future potential. Dio Fight Forever shows significant promise with an engaging visual style and innovative non-classic wrestling game, but ultimately fails to deliver a polished, comprehensive wrestling experience. Game. If the only thing you can say you're trying to do is go back to the past, give up. Because everything in the past is not as good as you think it is. The Attitude Era is not as great as you think it was. There was a lot of crap that happened back then that wouldn't stand the test of time. Y'all remember Rock versus Austin or Rock versus. The Attitude Era is the best part of wrestling. There was nothing.
I want everyone to hear he called it error. The Attitude Error. No, dude, it's the Attitude Era. ERA. You idiot.
Greater than the Attitude Era, sir. It produced some of the best wrestlers ever. Put some respect on Stone Cold's name, sir. You will respect
Stone Cold was actually made in New Generation.
that man. Give him the respect he deserves.
Triple H versus Mick Foley, but we also had to sit through a lot of crap as well. And while there were good video games back then, there was a lot of bad wrestling video games. Not even from WWE, WCW, or ECW. I mean, they had a couple of misses at that point too, but there were a lot of.
Can you explain to me what other video games there were? To my knowledge, during the No Mercy time, pretty positive there was only WWE and WCW and ECW. And I don't really.
Okay, guys, so I want everyone to realize this. WCW No Mercy was made in 2000. That same year, they also dropped WWF Royal Rumble, WWF SmackDown, and WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. But before then, here's a lot of the games I played. WWF Warzone, WWF In Your House, WWF The Arcade Game, WWF King of the Ring, WWF Rage in the Cage, WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge, and of course, because I did have the Game Boy, WWF Superstars 2, WWF Superstars. As a matter of fact, WWF have made video games since the Commodore 64 in 1987. Now, go over to WCW, because before we talk about World Tour, there was WCW versus the World, which I played on the PlayStation. There was WCW Super Brawl, and then there was WCW The Main Event, which I played on Game Boy. Who else made games during that time? Oh, I don't know, dude. I mean, let's talk about New Japan in 98. Would you like to talk about that? Hey, New Japan made games for the SNES in 1994. They also made a game for Game Boy in 1991, which I played. Yes, dude, there have been a lot of video games well before No Mercy. You would know that if you are an actual gamer and not a fuckboy like you are. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant fanboy. Sorry.
Remember that bad of a WWE game? I think WCW there might have been one bad one if I remember correctly, and then ECW they only produced two. And it wasn't like their first one was a straight garbage. It wasn't nearly as good as the second one.
Video games that flooded the market that were absolutely terrible. As a matter of fact, there are still wrestling video games that make it to the market, whether it's Xbox, PS5, computer, or available on mobile, that are absolute trash.
I'm glad you can finally agree that WWE 2K24 was trash. Thank you, sir, for agreeing to that. I am so proud of you. You finally got out of your fanboy ways.
So, if the only thing you can say is you want to go back to the way things were, then do me a favor and just give up because it's not always good to go back to the past. It's the same visual style as 2K24, 2K23, 2K22, 2K21, Battleground. What are you talking about? All you gotta do is take out.
No, it isn't. Okay. 2K is more realistic. Now, Battleground, yes, Battleground was a lot cartoony and way more outlandish than this one. But 2K goes for a more realistic approach to their visuals in wrestling. Okay, AEW is going to a more cartoony and outlandish wrestling style, and I find it a lot more fun when it comes to video games. Video games should be more cartoony. Just how it is, dude.
AEW put in WWE, take off TBS, put in Crime. It's the same game, dude. What are you talking about? Right, so you were going to have cartoonish. The thing that you complain about with Vince McMahon's PG WWE, but you like it now in AEW. You are a walking contradiction in that one right there. But,
That isn't a walking contradiction. There's a big difference between video games and real life. Real life should be realistic. Video games are not meant to be real life. If I wanted to watch real life, I would watch TV. I would go watch that trash reality crap that you like to watch. Okay? If I wanted reality, I would go watch Desperate Housewives that you desperately love. But I am playing
The only desperate housewife I know is your mom.
Video games. And I like video games, sir.
They do. Action graphics, animations, color grading, search bars, interactions, arrow buttons, cooldown games, RPG, graphic modes, multiplayer, multi-phase gameplay, customization, options, customizing side quests, custom features, gameplay, more straightforward, custom games. Once again, let's go back to Madden, let's go back to Raid Shadow Legends, let's go back to a lot of other games where there are microtransactions. You don't necessarily have to.
Answer me this one, Brandon. For Madden Mobile, Raid Shadow Legends. Did you pay for that game? Did you have to pay a $70 price tag? To my knowledge, unless they changed it, those games were free to play. Okay, you downloaded and installed them. But we got to make the money somehow. Okay, 2K24 AEW. Well, I don't know what AEW's price was when it first came out, but AEW's price tag for the base model, just for the game itself, was $70. Okay, when you have to pay upfront for a $70 game and then on top of it play with these riddled microtransaction crap, okay, that's where the problem lies.
You don't still have to pay for anything if you don't want to pay for anything. If you don't want to pay for the microtransactions, don't get the microtransactions.
Microtransactions are ruining games nowadays. Okay, and if you think that your mobile games are safe, don't worry. You're going to slowly start seeing where you have to pay a price up front, or they're going to make you pay a monthly subscription fee just to play the game. You don't even get nothing. It's
Actually, there's quite a few of them like that are out there. I think NBA Live used to be one, or there is an NBA sanctioned game that used to be like that. There was an NFL game like that as well. If you don't want to pay, don't pay. It's fine.
coming, Brandon. Just you wait, and you're going to be whining and complaining. No, you'll probably placate to him because you're a fanboy, but you probably would suck and be like, "Well, you don't have to pay it. You choose to." That's what you're going to say. We all know it.
Pay for anything. If you want to wait the time and you want to build piece by piece, then that's there. If you are impatient and you just want to put your credit card information in and pay for everything, it's there. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And I can understand why a lot of people do not like microtransactions. I get it. I understand. I will never argue against it. Against those people. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you want it, then do it. But you can't complain if someone else does it. Yes, is it?
Of course, you can complain when people are getting an unfair advantage. Of course,
Let's let that play out.
you can. There's no skill in those Madden mobile games when it comes to the tournaments that people are playing up against. When you're paying to win, of course they're going to really win. That's how the pay to win thing works, my guy.
Kind of harmful if you have an addiction.
Now, let's go back to, it gives people an unfair advantage. There's people who get an unfair advantage in everyday life, but you can't complain about it. You get the fuck up and you do what you gotta do in order to overcome that advantage. There's people who get into Harvard who don't deserve to go to Harvard. They don't have the grades for Harvard, but guess what? Their father donated $1 million and their father was an alum of Harvard. So the kid who actually scored a 1600 on his SATs, he's not going to get in, even with straight A's. Talk about a fucking unfair advantage, you crybaby bitch.
You have like a gambling addiction or something like that, or you're irresponsible with money. I think over the last 10 to 15 years, I've probably spent barely 1,000 in 10 years on that. There are people who just blow that 1,000 in a weekend on games online.
Yes, because they're pay to win. The ones who spend 1,000 in a weekend are pay to win. The mobile games, the online games, pay to win, sir. I don't know anybody that spent $1,000 on regular video games over the weekend. Okay, the most I've ever done.
This guy has never been to a Madden tournament. This guy has probably never been to a Mortal Kombat tournament. You could tell that this dude is the casual gamer and not a hardcore gamer. Because yes, there are a lot of game. As a matter of fact, there is a part of Twitch that talks about this. There are many videos on YouTube where people spend a shit ton of money. I think there was a guy that spent $85,000 in a month to beat the game, to beat the series of games. 85,000 in 1 month.
When I when I wait till Black Friday to buy the games that I didn't have time to play throughout the year, yes, I will buy them for dirt cheap on Black Friday. And even if I would have paid full price for those games that I paid for, it still wouldn't have equated to $1,000, Brandon. You don't even know what you're talking about.
So to do that over 10 years, actually 15, about 17 years, I should say. That's not too bad. But I get what you're saying, but once again, it's optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it. So civilians are also where the game shines in comparison to WWE's. I mean, I can play this entire story. That's because your system is trash. That's why. I've seen people with PS5s say this, but not everyone I know with a PS5 have said this. I haven't seen anyone with a computer. I haven't seen anyone with Xbox say the exact same thing. So that tells me it might be either a PS5 problem or it's your system is absolute garbage.
No, sir, it is not the PS5's problem. Okay, it is not my system's problem. It is 2K's problem. Because how this works, I understand it's hard for you to understand, but how it works in the video game industry, when you create a game, let's say you go and create a game and you release it on PC, Xbox, and PS5, like pretty much they all are, unless they're exclusives. Okay, when you release a game, it is your job. You're the developer. It's your job to make sure the game is playable on the system. It is not our job to change the system, or it is not Sony's job to change the system to match the game. It is their job to test it. I understand this is going over your head, so I'll speak slower for you. It is their job to test the game to make sure that it is playable. Okay, so when they release a game for a system, it doesn't matter if it works on PC. It doesn't matter if it works on Xbox. I have a PS5. I bought a game for the PS5. Okay, it is their job to make sure that it is properly working for me to be able to play and enjoy the game.
Why does he sound so constipated, man? Like, dude.
It is not my job to test the system. That is their job, sir.
I'm gonna go with your system is absolutely garbage, so get a PC. For technical issues, frequently market input. This reliability is unmatched at a high bar, like today's gaming landscape is seeing uninterrupted gaming experience and streaming gameplay. However, it's not all praise. While WWE's games are offers a breadth of features like DM, show replay, first person shooting, and ability that this game's built in around that first. The absence. Now, I do just want to remind people, the people that made this game, AEW Fight Forever, were the people who walked out on WWE, I think either right before or as 2K20 was releasing. And they went right over to AEW. So it's one of the things where it's like, did you sabotage them with over there? Or, I don't know. Now, 2K are the ones who actually put the game out. But WWE, people don't realize this. WWE has a gaming department, a dedicated gaming department that takes care of the 2K series. They take care of WWE Mayhem, which is on Android and Apple. They take care of WWE Champions, which they take care of all mobile games and stuff like that. Games from around the world. There's other games that are available in other markets as well. So, but I will give AEW just a little bit of credit here. This is their first game. It's not that old. WWE's first few games were not as robust as they are now. As a matter of fact, they weren't robust at all. So, for
Well, of course, they weren't robust. This was back on the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. How robust could they have gone? The system wasn't.
My fucking God. This is how you could tell someone is not a gamer and has no clue about gaming history. Their first game was on the Commodore 64, sir. Their second game was on the NES. Their third game was on the Commodore and NES. Their fourth game was on the Game Boy. Their fifth game was on Commodore. Sixth game, Game Boy. Seventh game, Commodore. They didn't make a Super Nintendo game until 1992. This is what happens when you take gaming advice from a person who doesn't even know his gaming history.
Strong enough to do anything. I mean, those were like the bare basic arcade games that we all grew up loving to play. We didn't play it because they were great games. We played it because we got to play as some of our favorite wrestlers. That was the only reason. But they don't even stand the test of time. There's nothing like they're not good games.
WWF WrestleMania is actually one of the most sought after WWF games. Still, there are collectors who are looking for the arcade version, the actual arcade version. There are people who still go back and look for a Superstars game for Game Boys. This is the problem when fake gamers decide they want to make a gaming channel and don't know dick fucking shit about fucking games. So why don't you stick to your little Call of Duty and the fake soldier games and stay away from wrestling games? Because you've just proven you actually don't even know the market for wrestling games.
You can't compare them to anything. I mean, they really weren't that boring, or they really were boring.
what you're getting with this game, And now, you do have to take a couple things away, which is they've had a lot more time to work on this game, and also for everything that Tony Khan.
Okay, and back to the developers. Who cares if the developers were making those games? There have been many developers that have made great games, decided to do something different or go somewhere new, and they made a horrible game. Or they were making horrible games and they finally produced a good game for once. So what, dude? No one cares.
I said
This isn't a good game. Just you even said this isn't a good game.
he's going to make everything better. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He kind of did drop the ball on this. So as much as I want to, kick him on this one, I kind of got to give him a little bit of slack. So
Yes, they did. They did sign off on it. It's not. This game isn't a bad game by any means. It's an average game at best. It's just there's not enough there compared to WWE. At least, even though WWE was unplayable, they still had more modes to play in. Okay, and if you got to remember, the worst game in wrestling history to be released was 2K20. Nothing is worse than 2K20. Okay,
Once again, if you want to talk about the worst game in wrestling history, Wrestle and Romance was actually the worst rated video game ever. Worst rated wrestling video game, I should say. Yes. And I actually played that game. But once again, that goes to show who is a wrestling fan, who is a wrestling video game fan, and who is just a guy with a big mouth. Hi, Big Mouth, Battle Whine Gaming.
guess who signed off on that? WWE. They signed off on that unplayable trash of a game.
like what we do. Yeah, that seems a little biased there, dude. Just a little bit biased. I mean, were you doing some Buddha sugar with Tony Khan? Did,
Brandon, why are you the only one that thinks a 5 out of 10 is a bias score? That is an average score.
Your mom is a 5 out of 10. I mean, when she turns around, she's like a 5.5 out of 10.
Nope. No game should ever thrive to be a 5 out of 10. Okay, a 5 out of 10 is not a good score to get. Okay, and honestly, if I would have had to pay full price for it, I don't even think I would have gave him a 5 out of 10, to be honest. Okay, I might give him maybe a 4. No, I probably would have still gave him a 5 out of 10. Honestly, I have to change my score because I didn't have to pay for it. I think it's a 6 out of 10. So I'm going to go up in that department because when I was reviewing the game, I was going off of you had to pay full price for it. Okay, but no, this was not a biased review. This was a fair and honest review.
This is the guy that said that IGN is paid for. I just want everyone to remember that.
Okay, this game deserves a better score than 2K24 does because at least this one I was able to play through it. I could not do that in 2K24.
Chris Jericho make you sign an NDA for something you did with him? I was Mr. Battle Line Game. Yes, I am actually ready to debate this because you were very harsh on 2K24, but with this game, you're taking it light. I mean, I understand it's their first game, so you do kind of have to give them a little bit of grace, but once again, when you come out and say, we're going to be better, we're going to do everything better than they did, and you're falling flat on your face here, you got to take a little bit of that grace away and say, well, you're not really killing it here, dude.
For one, this is not a wrestling podcast channel. This is a gaming channel. I can care less what Tony Khan goes and says about his company. Okay, I'm reviewing the video game, not the company. Okay, if we would review the companies, obviously WWE is doing better right now. A few years ago, AEW was doing better than WWE was.
That, once again, is how you know that a person does not even know what the hell they're talking about. AEW has never done better than WWE. WWE is a $12 billion juggernaut. WWE is to wrestling what Band-Aid is to bandages, is what Kleenex is to tissue. You don't say, hand me, you don't say, hey, hand me that soft drink right there. It's, give me a Coke. They are the Coca-Cola of wrestling. When you go anywhere around the world and say you like wrestling, people are going to say, oh, you mean like WWF or WWE? I've never heard anyone say like AEW. But once again, this is how we know Then again, I have to extend some grace. I actually run a business. He runs his mouth.
Okay, I don't care about Tony Khan. I care about video games. So that's what I am reviewing. The video game. Okay, this game was far superior than 2K24. Just for the simple fact it was playable, sir. Playable.
Would you like to answer for that? So John McSherry, he is actually correct. He does have a neck beard, folks. He really does. He is an idiot. Nobody likes him. His own wife.
Sir, how dare you say that? You need to give out a nice apology. How dare you say, bring up my wife, sir? At least I have a wife, okay? All you have is a hand and OF. And probably both of them are about to leave your ass, so you're going to be left alone again. Okay, you need to apologize. How dare...
I actually have your sister. Anyone that doesn't know, his sister has a extremely nice ass. And guess what? I knocked her up twice. So once again, tell your niece and nephew, hello.
Dare you, sir? How dare you?
But, you know, the problem is, I probably wouldn't have even said anything if he wouldn't have just put that in. If he would stop putting that in, I probably wouldn't say anything. But the funny thing is,
Brandon, it's funny. It gets you triggered, okay? Everybody finds it funny. Just accept it. It's here to stay.
he is a massive, quote-unquote, wrestling fan. But he doesn't pay attention to wrestling. He's not an actual wrestling fan. He's more of a fair-weather, fly-by-night. I have to pretty much tell him everything, but he then portrays himself in these video games as a wrestling fan.
Sir, I never once ever said...
And actually, I do need to take back what I said. Hulk Hogan's main event actually beat out Wrestling Romance. I am sorry, folks. It actually does have the lowest score. Wrestling Romance is actually third. Number 2 is, this is a funny one, The Simpsons Wrestling. Who the fuck remembers that damn Simpsons game? If you remember the Simpsons wrestling game, put a 1. Put a 1 in the comment section.
that I was a wrestling fan. I used to be a wrestling fan. Okay, you're the one that's this wrestling fan, and you're the one that can't even hold them up to any standard. You give WWE way too much leeway. You don't even hold WWE and AEW to the same standard because you're a fanboy, sir.
So, sorry, dude, but yes, this video is absolute trash now. No, people do need to miss this because you, my friend, and the sad thing is he tried to cite that IGN is pay-per-views. I think he's pay-per-views now too. I think
IGN was paid for WWE 2K24. There's no way that game should have gotten 8 out of 10, sir. That game was a 3 out of 10 at best. And that still is being probably generous. They probably should have gotten a lower score than that.
hold on, let's try something real quick. Let's just try something. And that right there, folks, even closed caption does not know what the hell his song is saying. That's how you know someone just said a bunch of words and...
Sir, at least I have a theme song. You don't even have anything. Okay, your music is trash in your videos usually, so at least I have something for people.
Your mother is trash.
To listen to. And you don't need to worry about what it says. It's still enjoyable. It's still a good thing. Fun. Get over it. Stop whining and crying.
sold it to him for the highest price, and like an idiot, he paid it. Because that's exactly what he is, an idiot. So anyway, folks, this is all fun and games. I have nothing else better to do. I'm tired of looking at a textbook and computer screens right now, so this is what you're going to get. Sorry, but...
Yes, that'll be it for this review. Me and Brandon, for the most part, are joking around, even though I still want an apology.
You want an apology? Here's an apology. Suck my dick.
I want him to go out and put a short out apologizing for what he said. Okay? Let me know down in the comments if you think he should apologize. So please like, share, and subscribe.
Nobody's apologizing to you. You are trash. You deserve a beating. That's the only thing you deserve. That's the only thing you're going to get. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what you think you deserve, kind sir. You are going to just get a beating when I see you. But anyway, if you like trash like this, his video, not mine, my video is very awesome. Like, subscribe, share this with your friends, and let all your friends know that, hey, tell your friends don't go subscribe to Battle Whine Gaming and don't listen to him when he's talking about things like all the other crap, because he doesn't know anything. He won't do any Kingdom Hearts 3, which is fine by me because he sucks at that game as well. But this has been another Brandon the Broker video reviewing him. I'm probably going to review a couple more of his. Okay, guys, I'm just kidding. Go like him, subscribe, share his videos, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.